Entry 49, dated Friday, July 24th, 1964, another half-page entry, and you say it's the end of a nearly fruitless week. What's that about?
That does sound rather negative, but I think it simply reflects that it was difficult to concentrate on any particular project. In this case, I was obviously working on a draft of the Presidential Protection Chapter, number 8. But I could not. It's obviously difficult to continue working on a major section of the report without having some quiet time to concentrate on the substance of the work and the kind of editing that I would typically want to do if required by the draft. So my ability to do that was interrupted by all kinds of requests from the staff and from others, and so also in this case Mr. Rankin had a staff meeting on this Friday, and what's interesting about this entry is that it lists the number of and names of the staff members who were not at the meeting. So the people who were the people who were not present at the meeting included Frank Adams, Joe Ball, David Bellin, Jim Liebler, Leon Hubert, Bert Griffin, Murray Lawlick, and Sam Stern. That's really the majority of the lawyers who had worked on the report and were still engaged in some way or another, although several of those had returned back to their hometowns to continue their responsibilities in law firms or in public service. So in the places that there were such new faces, such as J.J. Vogelson, who came in and happens to live in Dallas, and it turns out that, which I didn't realize, that Rankin had not informed the rest of the staff about the extension of the release date. So members of the staff were still operating under the assumption that August 10 was the release date. So because we were now prepared to spread that word, he told people to basically take the weekend off, and he was trying to get people to sort of enjoy a modicum of personal life, and then return on Monday refreshed to try to maintain the pace toward the final end release date.
You recruited Vogelson from the Justice Department, right?
I think that's so. He must have been in the Criminal Division. And I don't know who selected him or whether he volunteered, but he was enthusiastic, responsive, and very important to the work of the commission during the last month or so.
You mentioned a couple entries back that you had recruited a few folks, a couple of different lawyers from the Justice Department, I guess, just to help you. As I understand it, we have an oral history with Mr. Vogelson. His job was just to go through the evidence and make sure everything matched up with the final report, that sort of thing.
Well, yes, there was an enormous challenge with footnoting, and then for having consistent footnotes and making certain that they were being cited appropriately. In the context in which they were presented. So, and also all the evidentiary materials had to be collected and organized and prepared for submission to the printers. Mm-hmm. And that included review of all the transcripts and all the evidentiary matters, because, as we discussed earlier, it was clearly the position of the Chief Justice, and one that Mr. Rankin, Norman, and I agreed with, was that everything that was commented on or used in the final report should be supported by footnotes to evidentiary materials that were going to be in the public record.
Okay, we'll go on to the next entry.